I'm on part three now, so when I'm just picking up the same seat, same scene, it's just that was 30 minutes. We just again raw, like who cares? I'm not even editing these two. I'm just putting them in a whatever, and he's just putting it up with a nice clean title. These are the raw and uncut videos, so I mean I don't even mind, man. Like I'm so chill to the point to where it's like, oh, but the other side of me, y'all, please don't do that. Please. I listen. I lived half of my life in my shadow and know it very, very well. Now that I have balance of it, a whole different type of balance and embodiment. Good guy, you don't want to go there, because the way I be working with the other side, whew, half the time I don't even have to be speaking. They see what's happening before it happened, and they're already on it. So I'm like, oh, copy. Now, had I known about this as a youngin', oh my goodness, ooh. Listen, but now I see why it didn't happen as a youngin' because yeah. But back to what I was saying. When she asked me if I wanted to be adopted, and I said no, everything changed. Tone, pitch, volume, everything. It was like something was snatched from her, like completely snatched from her, to where that loving and caring, it shifted into it shifted into my bad, y'all. That's my lady. It shifted to absolute, from loving and caring to I don't care anymore. Like it triggered something in her to where her poles would shift automatically. It was like something triggered. It triggered something in her to where she would shift a lot, and I could see that. Like she would shift a lot because she could never hold that energy anymore because I guess I either saw through bullshit or whatever it was I was seeing, like able to see the truth, but didn't know how to explain what I was seeing, so I never talked about it. Again, like a lot of the stuff that I was seeing as a youngin, I didn't know how to explain it because you got the image of the white man with the briefcase. Like so much shit was going through my head to where half of the stuff that I was seeing and experiencing, I was like, yo, what? Who am I going to tell? What? Like I didn't know who to tell. Even after I had cancer, when I was really listen, had I thought about recording half the shit I was doing back then when I had the cancer, listen, y'all would have been like, yo, what was you on, my brother? What was you on? Listen, radiation. That shit from Incredible Hulk, that's what they put inside of you in them damn machines, in them hospitals. The same, they tell you in these movies. I'm trying to tell you, man, listen, like, everybody thought, I mean, I'm not gonna front. The chemo had me weak and out of whack here and there. But the radiation, nigga, what? That was like instant reboost. Well, I hated the machine because it was like I talk about this in one of my older videos, but just thinking about it, I want to knock them anyway. They take this plat. I had to get a mask molded to fit my face, right? And there's this giant machine on the ceiling that they, rotate and whatever. But I have to lay down on this bed, strapped down, and they lock this mask on my face from here all the way over my head. And I have to sit still while they are beaming my face. From here to here is getting beamed with radiation. So basically, they are frying and decalcifying whatever they were doing, decalcifying or refrying whatever they were doing to the front of my face, to where just about every day I was in radiation. I was not the same person, even though my neck was peeling. Like my neck, the skin on my neck was changing and peeling colors, and like that's how fast I was healing. Like on some Wolverine shit, like literally, my skin would peel. You'll see my skin getting real dark, and then it'll peel off, and I have brand new skin. It was, man, the shit that was happening was so weird. I didn't know how to explain nothing, man. Because after everything was all said and done, with the hearing, the taste, um, the strength, the sight, like everything was nuts, 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 nuts. That's when I got quiet again because I'm like, yo, who am I gonna tell about this? Like it blows my mind. Like the stuff that they show us in movies, man, it really be happening. Like the whole cancer story, that is like they really be experimenting on. Listen, I think I told that story. I gotta go back and look on my YouTube. But when I tell y'all that story about the whole when they discovered cancer before the biopsy, then the biopsy, then after that biopsy to the actual cancer, man, listen, the whole story is like looking at them grays and suits just over my head, like doing all this weird shit. Listen, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other story. That is a whole other story. But we're gonna get there. It's a part of the story, but it's another story. We're gonna get there. But once everything shifted after that, man, and I had to live with that whole shift. And then that's when the other one came in. See, everything that happened in my life was a play on energy. Her mother's energy was me. It was a future version of me. Her mother was Gemini, Taurus. Well, Taurus, Gemini, Gemini, Taurus. So am I. See, when you study your chart and study your energy, you'll get information from both sides, shadow and light. It's a network system of understanding and seeing your past lives to learn and experience. It's so effing dope, man. Listen, it is the dopest thing when you really lock in with your chart and constellations and then really studying energy. Because when you study your chart, you'll see lineages. You'll see lineages, not just one, not just your mother and father, but lineages because it's linked to so many people around. Because I would have never known that her mother was me in the future. And it makes so much sense because she wrote me a letter that I still have on what to do now and told me, you're going to make it. And look at me now. Look where I am now. But we on the surface of what's about to take off. We on the surface. We are on the surface of what I got going on. I don't talk about it much because I learned my lessons from talking about stuff too much. See, I play spiritually. I don't play physically. That's how I play. That's all I know. I don't know this physical stuff. But the spiritual, I know that very well. Very, very well. I pretty much live there. That's why when people send all these attacks and fake pages and people trying to get me shut down and do this and all these little baby shots, I'm like, y'all know we are in retrograde, right? And y'all doing what's coming your way. Honestly, I really do. I mean, but living with that for as long as I did is where a lot of the abilities came from because of the projection. It went from purity to absolute chaos. Everything was verbal abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, left and right, just boom, 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 punch, jab, this. Oh, your father this, your father this, you just like this, you just like this, nonstop. Even when I told, please stop doing that. Oh, I apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. No, no, you're not. Like, I knew her true intent every time the lies came, every time it was the same thing over and over, and the same lie. That I'm like, imagine knowing exactly what someone's going to say before they say it, and they say it anyway, and you still have to react and play the whole role. Like, oh, like, I gotta really understand living in a house with people you don't fucking know is different, man. It is different. You have to adapt to what they got going on. And then when you don't want to adapt because you don't understand what the fuck is going on, they get mad. They do this. They say you're crazy. They say this. They call you out your name. They say a whole bunch of unnecessary shit because you don't want to move how they move because it's not right. It doesn't work with me. It doesn't work. So now I have to move your way or I get kicked out. I can't tell you how much I've lived on the streets at a young age while in school. My 11th and 12th grade year, I spent more time on the streets and in school than I did at home. That's why majority of my time I was at my friends' houses. I didn't have a home, but I didn't want to tell anybody else that. Oh, nobody's gonna believe me. Nobody's gonna hear what I gotta say. No, 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 no. Protecting the enemy like an idiot. But we learned our lesson. That's why we're speaking. We learned our lesson. Protecting the enemy for what? No. I was living out of a garbage bag. Like, I had my stuff on the steps of the house. You know how that house on 3 Phineas. Oh, yeah. We going there. That house on the steps, that basement, I had a garbage bag. That's where I had all my clothes. That's why I get my clothes for the next day of school. Boom. Half the time I didn't even go. I didn't even go. People always wondered why I would act, not act, because it wasn't acting, it was really me. People would always wonder why I would move and behave different in school versus out of school. I learned how to use someone else's ability in reality to mirror them. I didn't know what I was doing, but I do now. She had bipolar, whatever, but I knew how to use my Gemini energy. Because people in school, they saw a whole different version of me. They saw a whole different version. But out of school, they saw, there was like, who's this? Yeah, I had to do that to protect myself. But in school, oh no, I wasn't the same person. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Because it was like, yo, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do what? You can do this? Yeah, sure can. I wasn't the most popular kid, but I was like, oh yeah, I know him because he dances. Oh yeah, I know him because he's. It wasn't like, oh yeah, that's the popular. No, it was because of what I did. I was was always known for what I did: beats, music, drums, uh, dancing, drawing, having art on clothing. Something that always stood out and was always different. That was me. Because I would do things that no one else would think of and be bold about it. Like, when the NBA teams, when those jeans came out, I made my own pair. But the thing was, I had hockey, basketball, baseball, all different sports on a pair of jeans that I made. Actual, like, patches and logos. It wasn't just basketball, it was everything. Something that nobody's ever seen before, and I made it work and rocked it. Like, that's me. That's how I was. Like, I was that creative. Like, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Just about half my wardrobe was made. Because when the white tees were a thing, and that squiggly paint, the little tube paint, it came in like a little jar. It was paint that you could squeeze, and on shirts, and you can make designs. When that was a thing, oh, I took that to a whole other level. Then I seen everybody was copying it, and I just stopped. Because it went from, oh, that's cool, to everybody wanting to compete and try to outshine me with my own energy. I'm like, all right, bet I got something for y'all. I got something for y'all. The same thing with dancing. I still do it. I just don't boast about it. A lot of the stuff that I don't show, I'm going to bring it back out eventually. As a matter of fact, let me not even say eventually, because it's going to happen. Those aspects are here. I have to go retrieve those aspects, but I'm learning how shy this aspect is within me. I'm learning it. And now that I know that it's shy, instead of forcing it out, I'm learning how to slowly work with it. It's like, it's okay. Right? That they're gone. You don't have to worry about them anymore. They're not here. That's how I have to talk to myself every now and then. So it's okay for certain versions of me, like the whole artistic side, the dance and the art, the clothing line stuff. We bringing that back because most of the stuff that I designed and made back then, this woman would cut up my clothes right in front of me because I was being creative. She didn't want me to have, like, it didn't make any sense to how much of my stuff got destroyed, man. But, oh yeah, before because you know how Jim and I be going. When I told the lady I didn't want to get adopted, then the other one comes because I was talking about how energy plays on energy. So her mother was me, Gemini Taurus, but the new one that came in, the little girl, when she came in, she got adopted out the gate. When she came in, I figured out what her energy was, and it was a play on my moon. Moon, her sun was playing off of my moon, my emotion, me emotionally. So I was looking at a mirror of myself my entire life and learning the positives and negative of my emotions my entire life. Like, y'all don't understand how when you do this type of work on self and you trace back energy to the source of where it happened and you see what energies were being used, you learn more about your body than anything. Because now you know what part of your body was being attacked. Now you know what part of your body you have to work on. You see what I'm saying? And once I knew, I didn't know it back then, but the way her and I grew up was violent. very, very violent. It got to a point to where I knew my handler's weakness for her energy. I knew how to use her. I know how to use her energy against her to get certain things that I wanted. But when I stopped abusing that, and the other one caught on to what I was doing, when I stopped abusing it and she started doing it, I just sat back and watched. Until this very day, she's still doing it. And I stopped. Till this very day, she's still doing it. Because the last time I was there, back in 2024, when I got evicted, and I was invited back there, she was still doing the same thing. Nothing had changed. It was like watching the whole rewind of the people that I pretty much grew up with, and they're still in that life loop doing the same shit. And when I returned and I wasn't the same, oh, that's when shit went hectic. Boy, let me tell you, when you get to that part, good God, you got to be like, what? Oh yeah, oh yeah. You're gonna learn how, again, how I spent most of my time in the streets, most of my life in the streets, either in the streets or in my car, living out of my car. That was most of my life, pretty much, either on the streets or living out of my car until I had the funds to afford an apartment or a place to live. I always made something work. Always made something work. But that was my life because whenever I came to them to reset, it was the same chaotic bullshit all over and over and over. When you start to see a pattern of the same chaos, you pretty much study every movement of it. It's like you played the same video game level and now you've mastered every sequence. That's how I looked at reality. I was like, okay, any moment, yep, there it is. Okay, so got you. Okay, next. All right, there it is. Okay, got you. Anything else? Like that's how you have to look at reality. But back to what I was saying about energy, I had to live with that my entire life, just about playing with my emotions. And the other end of my handler was a Pisces Aquarius. So listen, playing with my emotion and my physical vessel in the most intense way with verbal and mental, emotional. Like y'all gotta understand, there's always two sides to a story, right? The more I tapped into my gifts, the more I would see the true identity of the other individual. So she knew how to manipulate any situation, anything in her way to work in her favor, and it always worked. Because that lady, she was so easy to, she was so gullible to so much. Like playing with her emotions was very easy, but she always listened to lies because she always lies herself. She's a liar. When a liar starts to lie and they can't stop lying and the lies start to become truthful, it's scary to the motherfucker. Let me tell you, it's scary because she hid that part of her life so fucking well to where I took that mask off and it all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose when I took that bitch off. Um, but this individual hid that from everyone. I knew she was lying because the the other individual picked up on that behavior very well and learned it very, very quickly at that. Learned it very quickly and used it You grew up in this chaos. You grew up in it to where that's all you know energetically, and you mastered that just about at a young age, and you use it to your advantage to get by because you did something wrong. You did something you weren't supposed to do, and always blamed it on me. So trying to get someone to understand that who's stuck in their own world and lies themselves, it's difficult to get the truth out. Very difficult. You have to understand the type of environment you have to be in to understand this type of chaos. This was every day. And my friends who were my friends back then, they would tell you, I barely was able to play like that as a child. As I grew, I spent about 85% of my time on punishment, pulling weeds, pulling ivy, doing all types of crazy horse shit that a child is not supposed to be doing. It was ridiculous. Oh yeah, this is what man. No, this ain't no man shit. This is slave work. It's a slave labor. Oh, they teach you how to know. This ain't teaching me how to be a man. It's teaching me how to be like an idiot. Yeah, a slave. Yes, massa, motherfucker. This ain't teaching me no knowledge. No, no, this ain't it. This ain't it. Like I can't tell you how everybody used to always come. Oh, can he come outside? No, no. Why? Because I got manipulated and caught in some bullshit that I had nothing to do with. But because of my past and what I used to do, that always got taken advantage of and used against me. Like clockwork. It was so bad to the point to where I had to call friends over to spend the night. Not because I want friends to spend the night, but to have somebody witness what the fuck be going on in this house. And we finally caught some shit, and it was like he didn't do it. He's telling the truth. He didn't do it, and we saw who he was, and it was her the whole time. And it got to a point to where it was like, whoa, like she has no, to this day, those two really don't care about each other. I promise you, they don't. They don't care about each other at all. They're not gonna say that out loud, but energetically, yeah, energy don't lie. How do I know? I learned this when I went back there in 2024 and we were in a triangle speaking, and the other individual revealed her shadow and was like, I feel hatred, anger in this, but that wasn't coming from me. See, when you know yourself and your abilities, you can see the bullshit, and you can see the bullshit. She was projecting her emotions or projecting what she had going on because it's what they were feeling each other, not me. I knew how to mine energy etiquette. I knew energy etiquette. You know, 30 minutes again. All right, take three.